Okay, viewers, we're back. We're back. We're working again now. So that's a bit of a pain. I'll have to try and see if I can delete the other video off the channel in just a moment. It's always a bit of a nightmare. And then we'll do our racing. I've just lost some critical racing lap time. So let's see if I can get this all organised now. Normally I do this during my 10 minutes build up, but I'm going to have to quickly do it while we're at the beginning of the stream. And let's see if I can fix this, because this really causes a bit of a pain when it does this. Right, see if it works in the old window. Just checking here. And it's completely messed it all up now, hasn't it? I know lots of people are tuning into the wrong stream, which is always a pain, which means nobody will end up watching this now because it'll all get confused. Right, let's see. Let's see if we can get this working. So it seems to have gone into the same stream. I don't know if it's working or not now. Oh well, that's ruined today's stream, which is a bit of a pain. So we've lost pretty much our entire audience has been split now and gone stuck in the other stream. So we're just going to have to start practicing because we have no time to muck about on this. Let's get stuck in and try and see how this works. I've got to quickly see how the top guys did their lap, see if I can memorize a bit of it and then get there again. And Camille, nice to see you. Marek, why did I change the wheel? Because I'm going to be doing some rally driving, and the Sparco rally rim is an excellent rim for rallying, so I've changed over the rim to do the rallying, and of course I'm going to be using the Sparco gear shift and stuff like that, which is great. So that's why we've changed it. And also I just like to mix it up a bit. I think it's good to mix it up between different wheels. You can always see if there's an advantage from one wheel to another, what the advantages are, whether you're quicker with one or the other. Let's just back up here. High so low, good. People are finding the stream again, so a few of you have found it. Fortunately we've lost a good portion of the audience due to the sound issue then, so that's that. Right, it's fifth gear through there. Did he go down to fourth? I didn't see. Right, I'm just going to concentrate here. High bladder. Oh, the chat's not working on the screen. I wasn't looking. Sixth into fifth. Fifth. I'm a long way off on this track. I've got a lot to learn. The chat's messing up as well. Isn't that weird? Showing the wrong chat system. That's strange. Right, I'm not really looking at the lap, am I? See, we got 2 minutes to learn this. Fifth gear. Not using any traction control. Hold the car back a lot, doesn't it? Sixth. He's full speed through there. It's amazing. See, I haven't got that at all. Right. Fifth. Not touching the curb. Avoiding the curb. Amazing, amazing. The car steers in. What if he's using a controller? Oh, the controller is better through there. Fifth. It's interesting. Using all the curb. I thought some of that would give you a penalty. Hi WRC, just trying to learn this track. We've got all of 2 minutes to try and in a fourth into third on this corner. Launching it. Okay, we're going to try and learn this. We haven't got long. So we're not going to have a good first race because I haven't done any practice. Oh, he goes off as well. Still manages to put in the best lap. And that really shouldn't give you the best lap. Fourth through there. What's weird is that he's flat on the power. I can't do that at all. The car spins out. Well, viewers, I am at a loss as to some of the elements in that lap as to how they were done. It doesn't seem obvious to me, but we're going to try and replicate it now, but I somehow don't think we're going to be able to do that. And we'll see. Hi Francesco. Thanks for joining us. Unfortunately, we've lost half our viewers because I started the stream, then ended it, and then had to restart again. And it's broken up the viewers, unfortunately, onto 2 different videos. So a load of people think the stream has ended, which is a bit of a pain. And YouTube won't put this video stream up now. So it's always a bit of a pain. But never mind, you guys are watching. So let's see what we can learn very quickly. Oh, that's locked, but let's just do that anyway for no reason other than it makes me feel better personally. I know this doesn't matter, I just like to do it. Now, what do we got in terms of power? Can we change anything on the power? Can't do anything there. Trying to understand how we did that. Now, we did most of it in full speed. Let's see. He did this corner in 4th. Okay, let's change the... Let's go down to 5th. Let's go down to 0 on the... there's no way I'm going to be able to drive it like this. So I would love to see what this car is like with a controller, because it just doesn't feel as natural to me with a wheel. Normally I can watch someone driving and say, I can do that, I can understand what they're doing here, but do you see there? I'm not even full power. I don't understand. He's able to take corners that when I put the power down myself, I'm not understanding quite what he's doing. Let's try again. We'll just take it slower this time and see if we can yeah, I definitely can't drive it the way he's driving it with the pad. I'm just going to take it slow. I'm not going to try and beat him because I don't think... you see I'm lifting and he wasn't. But I'm just thinking, well, if I just keep it smooth... So I'm well late on the power. So I definitely can't do what he was doing there. No, what's going on there? What's going on there? I don't even know what to do there. This is what happens when a car sometimes becomes unpredictable, in the sense that I'm not entirely clear why the car's doing what it's doing. So I wasn't even ready for opposite lock because I didn't feel like cars should be doing that. Let's see if we can put in a better lap now and try and improve. So we're miles off. I would love to have tried this with a controller actually if I had time. But I think we're going to, as I say, we're aiming for 8th place today. It would be like a win to us in this race. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? I don't know why it's doing that. So strange. This is where the car span out before. Now he went down to 5th and he somehow leaned on the curbs through there. But I can't do that, so I'm just going to stay in 4th. So went down to 3rd here. Car is all over the place, squirming around. That's horrible, horrible. I don't like this at all. I don't know why that happened. Quick retry. How long have we got? We've got about 5 minutes. We've got enough time to do 2 more laps to practice. And then we're going to have to do it with traction control, I think. We can't tune the car, I don't think, WRC. I don't think we can tune the car. Traction control is off. But just trying to understand... I just want to put in a banker lap so that we get a rough idea of so ahead of our previous lap, of course. Why is that happening? Look at all the time we lost there. Oh. Hi Jeff, and we're ready to do some more racing. This is not a car or track I'm comfortable with as ever. We've got to be realistic here. I think I'd like to seem extra bright tonight, the LEDs. today. Wow, it's hard to drive. It's all over the place, really. So it might be better to do this in quali if we can find more time. And then try again with the traction in the race, you know, in terms of consistency and tyre wear. I don't know what the situation's going to be regarding tyre wear and performance. I'm just going to get to the end of this lap and see what in terms of lap times. That didn't work at all, did it? Okay, let's just we're not far off, but we're still not as quick as we were on with traction control, are we? There's just no way of saving it, keeping your foot down. Let's retry and let's turn traction control on, because we'd need to do like 20-30 laps to we need to do 20-30 laps to really get to grips with that. So we haven't got much time. We've got Tom Brown here as well. Hello, Tom. Let's see if we can try and improve this time with traction control on a 2, which might help with some of the... We've gone wide now, typically. But the car is more balanced, at least, with the bit of computer assistance there. Horrible, horrible car to drive. The back end is horrible. It's all standing out. Give me the 1980s Formula 1 car any day. There we go. Don't like this corner. I think a lot of people, well, I say a lot of people, I mean, we're racing A+ and S racers, so they're not going to make mistakes, these guys. They've probably been practicing this constantly for the last week or so. I'm going to have to end this lap in a moment, see where we end up. Didn't get on the power quick enough there, did I? A slight improvement, but we're still a long way off, aren't we? We're not going to be competitive. I think all we can do in this race, viewers, is be as consistent as we can, and just hope that some people spin out. Look at strategy. I think that's going to be the interesting thing. So fuel isn't going to be an issue at all. Tyre wear, 9 times tyre wear. Grid start. Right, well, I don't think hard tyres are going to work for us, but we can try it, can't we? Let's enter the race. What the hell is going on? Right, okay, it's crashed. Okay, right, that's crashed. Let's just try and get into it again. Rob was just saying the car is begging for some grippier tyres. It certainly is. What's strange, I don't like the car. I don't like the power band. I don't like the way the rear end is stepping out a lot at speed. It has no balance to it. It has no feel for me. When you're at high speed, the rear end stepping out in 6th gear, you know, it's very strange. The power delivery doesn't get any smoother. The weight transfer seems to be all over the place with this car. It doesn't feel comfortable to me at all. And I think that sometimes you end up using traction control on a car that you say, well, why are you using traction control? And I sometimes have this in like stuff like Dirt 2, where I say the car just wouldn't stand out like that. You'd know what was going on. You'd feel something before we get to there. So maybe the car needs to communicate something. Well, I'm going to miss the race if it doesn't work. Oh, here we go. Right. For a moment, we're just going to see if we have time. Please give us some free practice. Please give us some free practice, because we need some more practice. Now we want to qualify 15th on the grid. That would actually be a positive qualifying scenario for us. I've got a feeling something's going to go wrong here. It's we're getting these black screens. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's weird. I don't have any feeling of the car. It has a strange let's take a look for a second. Let's go. Oh, we can only do soft tyres. So that is the soft. That's the only tyre you can use. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get racing, and let's just have a look at changing the brake lines. Absolutely logic. It hasn't come off again since, but I do double check it sometimes in races. You'll suddenly see me go like that. I just double check that the rim's locked on. And let's just change the brake balance a little bit to the rear, to see if that helps with stability at the rear end. Traction control helps so much with this car, doesn't it? Just in terms of drivability. cut out in a minute. There we go. That would have been a better lap then, I think. Been a better lap then. But sadly not. Off we are then into the race. Oh goodness, look at that lobby. They're going to annihilate me. I'm going to be on the back row probably. A's and S's. It's all good fun, you know, when you start on this and you're racing like E's and C's and D's, and then suddenly you get to B's and you're like, okay, A's and A pluses and S's, and suddenly it becomes serious. So this is a really good lobby. I'll try my best logic, but I think what we're aiming to do today is consistently finish mid-pack. We're going to see what we can do. Coke, it's very difficult to say. Very difficult to say. I think a controller may be superior here. Okay, we don't want to do that in the actual race, do we? It's good to experiment now, though. It's good to experiment now. Let's let this guy past. Oh man. Okay, we're in the wrong gear there. That doesn't help. Alright then. Alright. Here we go then. Right. Let these guys by. They seem to be quite racy, so a lot of people like to go on hard out laps, but I tend to like to try and protect my tyres a little bit if possible. that guy behind me, do you see how he gave himself no space? I mean, that's all his fault really. And now he's going to try and outbrake me into turn 1, which he probably will do, but it's completely pointless. Oh, I lost a lot of speed there. He's trying to slipstream there. Oh well. Damn. The tyres have really started to go, even though it doesn't show it. But I'm not going to pit for tyres, I'm just going to go round and round, I think. Because I just need track experience, really. tyres have gone. Tyres have suddenly gone these last few corners, big time. Wow. Do we have time to pit? Don't think we do. Oh well. We'll just have to practice and learn, practice and learn. Slightly better. Learning every time. So the tyres have gone, but just driving better laps is getting better times now, so we just need experience. I mean, I can't believe we're in 14th actually. I thought we'd be on the back row with that time. But it shows how advanced everybody is. Obviously I'm on old rubber, as it were, so my choice obviously. Don't have time to pit and get out again, so I think we'll start, if we start 15th I'd actually be happy with that. I hope we don't fall much further back. Damn. Lost some momentum there. Oh. Yes, there's a lot of tyre wear in quali. The tyre wear is always massively increased in quali. So normally you only get one good lap out of your tyres. So these tyres are way past their best now. They're considerably slower. So if I'd done that lap on new rubber, it would have been in the 152s. So just gives you an idea on how quickly tyres deteriorate. Lost a lot of time there as well. 7/10 down. But what it means is that we might do better in the race now, thanks to these practice laps than we perhaps would have without it. No, tyres weren't having it now. So we got the best out of them. That was the limit there. We're going to pit now and call an end to our session. So not there in terms of qualifying as we expected, but I was hoping for 15th. We're probably going to be on the back row. Oh, that's it. So that might not seem good, viewers, but actually that was a really good learning experience. I just set you know, my fastest lap time was a 1:54.5, something like that, until 1:54 until I did that quali. So the fact that we're going half a second quicker is good. Right, I'll be straight back, viewers. Hold on. Viewers. So that was a challenging quali. I haven't seen what the lap times were, but I would say we're a couple of seconds off where we need to be. Don't be looking at there, it is 1:51. So I'd say certainly with a bit of practice I'm not far off actually. I think I was learning a lot all the way through that session, and I think we definitely have it's all practice at the end of the day, viewers. You need to do lots of laps, and this is not a car or track that I'm comfortable with. So it's going to be today. If we're starting on the back row, our objective is to not finish there. Boris mentioned go with mediums. Unfortunately, we couldn't change tyres. It's soft only in this race. But we're going to see how the car reacts with or without a pit stop. So 52.5. So I think we're capable of getting around top 10. You know, 10th to 12th I think was doable. So there wasn't much in it, was there really? So it means that when we do the second race later, if we're still on, we'll do the second race and we'll be ready to go. Let's warm up the feet. Warm up the feet. So back row for me. Here I am, back of the pack. Not quite last, so at least we weren't last. But look at that, wasn't much in it. Everybody is within reason. It's a solid field, so nobody's all that slow. Right. There's no mediums, Boris. There's literally, I believe there's just soft only. So let's see how we get on. Hard to make a difference at the start in a car that doesn't really have much go to it. Don't really want to be on the outside. car right on my outside there. Sandwiched here. Oh, so difficult when you've got cars either side coming out the power. Okay, this is not a good situation. We're gonna have to let them by. He's done, mate. I'm so glad he didn't go off then. I thought he was. He was braking a bit heavier than I expected. Oh no, didn't get the speed out the corner. This is going to be a challenging race. This guy's going to overtake me. No one spun out. There's not enough drama. We need more drama. I think there's a car beside me, so I don't really want to. Boom! Double takedown, double kill. That was a bit of action. Okay, so we've got a bit of a gap behind us that's occurred there, and now we're close, 2.1 seconds behind. Let's see if we can close this gap. Traction control did not like that corner at all. I went in too wide. Lost a lot of time on turn 1 there to that chap. I don't know how much we can cut that. I think you can carry a lot more speed through there than I'm using, but I don't know how much of it you can cut, so I'm just playing it safe really, within reason. Wow, lost a bit of time there. Just don't have much more speed. I have no pace in this car. I just need to relax now. Relax and just chill. I feel quite stressed driving it because I don't really know what I'm doing. Someone's been off. We're not getting the slipstream. Not getting the slipstream. Okay, so moved up 5 places. Halfway through the race. It's a short race, comparatively speaking. High field spread, isn't there? But it's not surprising given the action on the opening laps. This is where I tend to lose a lot of time, is through here. It's very risky through these curbs. always seem to lose time through that last couple of corners. Oh, we lost a bit of pace, lost a bit of momentum. That's a shame. Lost half a second on that corner. Tyres are starting to wear now. I think you're seeing some of the field come together a bit because some people are better at wear than others, but they are wearing quite a bit in terms of, not going to fall off or anything because you can see the tyre meters quite comfortable, but in terms of overall feeling of grip, they're not. They're bad when you start and they just get worse basically. Look at that, my last lap was better than my qualifying time. Ridiculous. Shows that I've got much better quali lap in me. So hard to be consistent though, isn't it? I can really feel that sometimes the traction control is quite invasive on escaping from certain corners, so there are parts of the lap where I'm quicker than these guys and parts where they're much quicker than me, but it just helps with overall consistency. Yeah, I lost time all the way through there. What a boring race, you know, no pit stops, no tyre wear, no major incidents. This is the dullest FIA race I've ever done, I think. But at least we know we've got a bit of better pace in us, so we'll have to try and discover that more consistent 152 pace. I think we'll be a long way up the road. So, slight improvement there, viewers, up 5 places, but at this level it is always very challenging. But improvements all the same. Improvements all the same. It was a very dull race. There's not much you can really do. You know, you can see that obviously whenever anybody comes together, there's contact because the cars are so slow that you can't get past people in that way. Instrumental. That's because I'm using traction control. Because I'm using traction control because I don't have experience with the car. So it's up 5 places. Not the end of the world. It was a clean race for the most part. Strange car to choose. Not an enjoyable race. Not an enjoyable race. We're going to do a bit of testing, a bit of practice, and we're going to see if we can just try and understand a bit more about how to be good. So we need to try and improve our overall lap time. Let's see if we can jump in now while it's fresh in our mind. It wasn't a particularly taxing race. I don't feel like, you know, there are some races where you're sort of on the limit. There it's, you know, it's just little changes, and I think turning traction control off will probably make me much quicker. So I'm going to try and learn with traction control off now. I think it's a funny race because, you know, we improved by 5 places against people who qualified much quicker than we did. Let's just have a look at settings. There's nothing else we can change here at all. So there is just those one set of tyres. So we're just going to go in and we're just going to turn off. We're going to turn off the traction, and we're just going to see what we can do with traction control down a bit. Let's see if we can just take a lot more of it in 5th gear. I want to see how much we can nibble of the chicane as well, left-right chicane, because so we want to brake a bit earlier here, don't we? Get the car into the first part of the apex. More grip on the inside. You see how the rear end just stands out. Quite certain how to stop that. Let's try again. This will be a little bit boring for the next 10 minutes, viewers, where I'm just trying to figure out how you're supposed to do this. Yeah. It's a strange one, the traction control. I need to try and... The problem with this car is it doesn't behave in a manner as I would expect. It's a little bit strange in the way this car works. And see, like there, it's driving in 6th gear, and then suddenly the weight just pulls out from behind. And it's got a very strange weight transfer that sends the rear of the car out. Oh, don't get me wrong, you don't have to do what I'm doing there, you can slow down, you won't spin out. But we don't want to slow down, we want to try and learn how they're doing it at speed. So we want to try and pick a braking point that's a bit more consistent into turn 1. So there the rear end stood out, so we lost speed through that corner on the exit. No. No. So I don't know how the guy does it flat, because the guy who's top in the world does it flat up that hill, and I don't know how he does it. That's my... Just feel like I'm missing something, you know. I feel like there's something I'm missing. Let's try again now. Let's just try and do some consistent laps now rather than flat out. Let's just see if we can build up slowly. No, way slower, way slower. So backing out the power and rear end standing out. This is not a fun car to drive for me. This is really not a fun car to drive. No, they're doing this in 5th. So we'll try and learn that faster. What was interesting in the race is a lot of these guys over one lap were a lot quicker, and yet in the race they weren't. I mean, if you looked up the road, you could see, you know, 10th, 11th, 12th, all there. So if you think about it, they weren't that quick in the race, because if they were, they'd have been completely gone. No feeling for the car at all then. Let's restart. So let's try again now. Let's try again. Alright, let's try again then. Let's try and unlearn what we have learned, viewers. Let's see. I'm trying different brake balances at the moment. I think the brake balance to the rear helped a lot in the race. So I want to try and get a good... I just don't understand it. This is proving to be very frustrating. It's bad enough driving, let alone watching. Sorry about this, viewers. Practice. See, this is the sort of thing that in the past I would do off camera. I wouldn't do it while I'm streaming. But I figure it's good for you, the viewer, to learn, to see practice, so that you can see what kind of learning goes into what these gamers are doing. And as I say, esport gamers do have a tendency to say, oh, I don't do any practice, I did it on my first run. Yeah, whatever. On their first run they knew every corner cut and every gear change. Yeah, right. And then you see them in real life and you see that they actually need tons of practice to actually get anywhere. Let's see. Now, I saw people braking later for this, taking a wide line in on the entry. No, look at that. 5th gear wheel spin. This is not expected at all, is it? Let's try again. Let's try and see. Robert says this is hardcore sim racing. Well, It is when you do lots of practice. It is when you do lots and lots and lots of practice. It doesn't matter what sim you're playing, or any game really. It's just lots of laps, and then once you understand, I mean, going round and round isn't hard, as you saw in the race. Going round and round, but trying to find those little bits that give you an extra half a second a lap, that's really difficult. You know, if we were racing in a B, C, D lobby, easy, you'd be winning at the front, be no problem. As soon as you start racing against A and S racers, everything changes. You know, suddenly they know, they've done their practice. Oh, can we go backwards and just try that again? Cannot find how to do these corners. This is not enjoyable for me. I can't stand this sort of thing, but it's really not intuitive for me, this car. Let's just try traction 1, see if that makes a difference, so it's less invasive. Alright, let's try and calm viewers. Let's just try and do some laps now, some race laps without crashing constantly. See if we can put them things together. No, just didn't get enough in the turn before that. Why is it not doing that? Let's see if this is it now. Let's see if this is it. They do. The car does not like the curbs. I've noticed that with some of the top players. Slide you guys along there, falling off. Right. Now, let's try again now, viewers. I know it's a bit boring. This is all the learning process. So, no, still not good enough. Notice we went 5th instead of 4th there. I was just seeing if 5th worked any better for me. Me. I just don't understand where to find the speed in this car. It's a mystery to me. I'd love to try it, have time to try it with a pad, you know, just properly put some method into it. Thank you, Aitor. I know, bad driving. I know, this is all part of learning. You don't get good without crashing off. So it takes time to figure out where the lap time is. And this car is all over the place. And it's if I could just find a bit more time, we'll be competitive, because we're not far off. We're going to go down to 4th this time. Yeah, 4th worked much better for me than 5th. I can't keep the speed required for 5th, and I think as soon as your tyres start to wear, that doesn't always work either. And that there is the difference between traction control on 2 and 1, making the difference. So I'm doing the same thing I did in the race, but with traction control on 2. Let's try again. Let's unlearn what we have learned again. Let's just see if we can try and... The frustrating thing about a car like this is you know what you want to do, but it's so not... The funny thing about a car is when a car's not set up the way you like it, or it's a car that doesn't talk to you, suddenly it becomes harder to drive, and that sounds quite silly sometimes when you see Formula 1 drivers or racing drivers say, I can't find a setup. And it doesn't matter how good you are, if the car's not responding in a way that you feel, you're just not going to be that quick at it sometimes. You really need to understand it. And I think some people are really good at some of the street cars in this. And my comfortable cars, if you've ever watched the channel, are high-speed cars. The faster the car, the more I'm into it. Le Mans cars, Super Formula cars, these are my sort of territory really in terms of still a bit up. It's always tricky learning some of these new cars and tracks. It does take a long time, and you'll come back to it. What I often find is that you do a load of laps and you go away, go to bed, sleep on it, come back, and you know, you just learn it. So a bit of an improvement that lap. But we know we can do better because we did a 152 in the race. So now we're going to try and get into the 152s. Damn it, lost all that time on the chicane. So what was happening there, and you're probably thinking what's happened there, is you've come out the corner faster than usual. You've hit the brakes when you normally hit them, but because you're going 5 miles an hour quicker, you needed to brake 2 meters earlier, and that now means we lose a second, which could have put us comfortably into the 152s or even the 151. So good news is that we've got some pace in there now that we're learning. We've just got to find out how to do it consistently without that happening. See if we can get ourselves together. And yeah, I tell you, this car doesn't have any grip, chaps. There's no doubt about it. No grip. It's very slippery. Like there, that was quite an unexpected slide, which compromises the beginning of the lap, but it doesn't matter. We just need to put in some laps now. Consistent laps now, viewers. Consistent laps. I was intending to do some weekly races, but given how bad the first FIA race was, I was hoping to finish around 8th. That's my target for this race. So consistency is what we're looking for. Half a second behind where we were before, which is a bit of a pain. A lot of time still to find. No. No. It's proving frustrating. We will get there. We will find our lap time. We will improve. I hate this car and track. Actually, I quite like the track. I just don't like the car. Just don't like it. This to me is a chore. Going fast, I remember that. Braking. Wheel spin. Bags of wheel spin. Bags and bags of wheel spin. That was a terrible chicane. Improving again. Damn. Damn, damn, damn. See, what's double damn about that situation is I don't quite know what you're supposed to do there. Oh man, yeah. I mean, this car Rob, it's like 6th gear. It's like it may as well be in 1st gear. The amount of wheel spin I'm getting on every corner is just crazy. Just crazy. I mean, it's almost undrivable for me, frankly. The big problem here is the amount of opposite lock it requires. Requires quite a lot of opposite lock through that section to keep it straight, you know, in a straight line. Turn the ghost off now because it's just getting in the way a bit. Damn. Damn, damn, damn. No consistency at all. Oh, this is excruciating for me. This is killing me. It's killing me inside every lap. My soul is just not liking this car. I'm going to have a break in a minute. Yeah, I would really like to know what the controller is like in comparison, because I think it might be easier to control with a pad. I'm going to have to practice another time now. It's like these flicks are much easier with a stick than they are with a wheel. We've got a 151 in us, so I know that 151 is in us. But we're still, you know, 3 seconds behind the top times. You know, there's something that we're really. This is why I say with shifter cars, there's always something going on. There's always like a little special technique that you're not knowing that helps you a bit. See, I have no clue as to why that happened then. That's the thing that I'm finding. Normally you know. Normally you know when you make a mistake and you say, oh, I know what I did there. I did this, or I stepped on the power too early, or I braked too early, or... You know, but I'm not actually understanding why certain spins are happening. What do you do to stop them? What's the cue to... it's like everything in racing is about a cue. It's a cue when to slow down. It's a cue when to what speed you should be at. I don't know any of that because I don't have time to learn it here in terms of specialised nature. We're just trying to get the driving to a basic level, and at the moment yeah, it's not a race car, is it? It certainly isn't. It's horrid. This is the worst car I've driven. But if we can at least get a better qualifying time, I mean, that 1526 would place me around 10th, which, if a 5-place improvement would put me somewhere. I normally improve in the race, so that would put me in a, you know, a reasonable position given the quality of the field. But we're not consistent, are we? I can't even get near that on a regular basis. So look at that. I felt it. I mean, it's going to snap the other way there. I felt it go. It just went. And it's like, why has it gone? With a stick on a pad you could save that, you see. But with the more grunty sound inside the car, isn't there? Times like this, it's a shame there's no forward view cam, because we are sort of sitting in the back seat driving here. Oh, I don't know. It's such a frustrating car to understand. I was a bit like this with the Jaguar E-Type in the last season. I remember I couldn't get my head around it. Everybody was much quicker than me in that car, and for the life of me, I just didn't understand where the speed was. You can see on my best lap though how slow I was through that section. So I definitely have more speed to find. Oh, yeah, you can't change it that much, Hawklord. I'd like to remove the steering wheel and have the cockpit right up against the camera. And unfortunately, you can't remove the hands, and the hands get right in the way, and it's just no good, really. I find it quite irritating. On the bright side, at least the rotation of the wheel matches my inputs now, which it didn't with the Fanatic. But yeah, the top players know something I don't, because we're not even on the same racetrack. I mean, they are like 3-4 seconds a lap quicker, and I haven't got that in me. I've got a 151 in me. I haven't got anything faster than that. Try changing view again. Okay. Trying to learn what we can, but don't know why that happened. It's trying to understand all the different braking techniques that you need to try and, when you know what you're doing, it's a little bit easier, but when you're just sort of clutching at straws here as I am, I have no idea how to drive this car. No clue. It's not communicating with me at all. Nope. I just can't get it go. They're flat. Is it flat if you want a good lap time? I know that. Zach, no, I'm not drifting. I'm in a car that likes to drift. But I'm actually trying to not drift. It's just this car has no grip. No grip at all. Wide. Try again. By the way, have you guys noticed any improvements in the stream quality? We're now streaming in 1080p 60. So, Zach, I am useless at drifting. Maybe that's my problem here. You know, cars like this, they just don't speak to me at all. Alright, let's try it now. Let's try it now. Head down. feels horrible. Oh, it's got no consistency. Don't know why the car's spinning out. See, normally when I make these streams, I say to you viewers, I say, oh, I made a mistake there. I'll know that for next lap, but I'll know not to make that mistake. But with this car, I don't know why what feels like the same inputs are inconsistent in terms of lap time. Oh. Have a break in just a moment. Get a bit of cramp in the old foot. It's a bit uncomfortable, this Thrustmaster pedal set, because you can't adjust the brake pedal. Right. Right, and a brake there actually. I think a brake now. I've done tons of laps. I don't think we're going to get much out of this. The only reason, see, I missed out on the Autopolis race last week, and it's a bit of a pain really, because that was my perfect car and track combination, and now I'm not around on Saturday, so this is my last chance at the FIA, and if I mess this up, then it's over basically. But it's a track I just don't like. Well, I don't mind the track, I just don't like the car. Just don't feel the car, feel the consistency of it at all. Normally I feel a car and I think, oh, I know what I'm doing here. But thanks, Matt. Yep, we've got a bit of an improvement, and we're going to try and improve the streams bit by bit. Try and warm the foot up. Feet are getting cold. Basically, it's a metal plate that the pedals are on, and it's very cold all the time. It just cools my feet down. Okay, let's try then. So we have our final race at 8 o'clock, and what we're going to do is have a break for a minute and just have a look at a replay or something of I think Brands Hatch yesterday. I'll have a look at that. That was a good race. Bit of a break for a minute before we get back to it. So we'll see. Kuki, well, we've got the Nations Cup. We've had one run. It was tough going. We just did some practice, and I'm nowhere on this car. I just don't like it. I think that's why I'm not doing very well at it. I just don't feel it. It's very frustrating. Wish there was a different option you could choose. I had a look at the Supra race as well, which is rubbish basically, because it's got 27 times tyre wear, which is just a joke really. So this was yesterday. I decided to go for a run in the new, well, I say the new, this new race for this week's weekly races, which I really liked actually. I want to run it again. Unfortunately, by the time I get to run it, everybody will be good at it, because really you want to run it on Monday, and that way nobody's that good and you have a chance of doing well. But look at that grid. It looks fantastic, doesn't it? Brands Hatch, and let's wait for the lights. Can't see the lights, that's a shame. Oh, there's somebody there for full start. Oh no, and he's trying to stop again afterwards. And oh, bit of action. And there we go through turn one, and there's me there in the 7-Up car. Yeah, racing around. Look at that, my goodness. Action into turn one. Storming up to Druids. You've got a car on the grass there. Oh wow, I tell you, mayhem in this race. Look at that. There's me, my 91 Jordan livery. I thought, you know what, let's pick a different livery, because everybody's going to pick Williams and McLaren probably, so I thought let's pick something different and just storm my way along. What a good bit of racing action it was, and cars like this always bring a bit of different racing, and you can see everybody trying to find a way past everybody. These cars, again, not easy to drive. I have to admit, again, I had the same problem with this car yesterday, actually. This car doesn't particularly work for me, but I am more comfortable in faster cars, at least, because they're such a challenge to drive. You know, you see people falling off the course everywhere. So, you know, it sort of comes together. But it's great to see, you know, when you're in these lobbies, and we've got A's, S's and A+ racer here, just how quick everybody is. This was my first race in the car, and I didn't really know the strategy. Turned out there was a much better strategy, but I've got to learn how to drive it. I need to turn down the boost a bit and try and find a way to manage the fuel better on this car. But yeah, that other race though, oh goodness me, cars like that do frustrate me. But then yeah, then after this, really it was a case of settling down. I was defending from this guy behind me at this point. I thought, no, I don't want to lose track position. Just enough speed. I was trying to overtake the guy up front at that point, actually. So wasn't blocking there. But, the guy in front, I later found out, was fuel managing. So he'd switched his fuel down. But even when he was switched down to 2 or 3 fuel, it was very difficult to pass him on those sections, you know. So there's not many places on Brands Hatch where you can pass. You've got to be really committed in passing at Brands. A lot of you know, a lot of fast corners, you know. Turn 1, Druids, 2 of the best places to try and overtake. But besides that, it's quite tricky trying to get the most out of your car. I'm blocking again now, just on the inside, just trying to defend the racing line. He was quicker than me at this stage. It's funny as the tyres wear and the fuel changes, how the car handling changes, but also a lot of drivers are quite erratic, so they make mistakes and all that. You've got to just hold your line and keep your head, really, at times like that. It's quite intense. And these cars do look great. Do like a good Formula race. Working our way around there. It's great to see the whole field, and of course later in the race I make a bit of a mistake with the fuel, sadly, and you can see it's going down quite quickly. I just didn't realise how important the fuel management was going to be, but also I don't fully understand where you should have the boost level on the car yet. I'm just driving it default, which could have some bearing on the amount of fuel your car is draining, and that could mean a better engine mode throughout the race. So I was planning on racing this today as well, but with the FIA race going so badly, it's going to be a challenge. We might go back to it in a minute and try Hawklord saying, never understood how it claims to be the whole tyre wear thing. Well, it's because they're using shorter races, that's why they're using. So if a race is 10 laps and they use 5 times tyre wear, then at lap 5 you're going to feel like you've done 25 laps, so you need to pull in the pits basically. And so it's just to add pit stops to shorter races, so it works in that way. The trouble with the Supra is it's 27 times tyre wear over 7 laps. I mean, they may as well have just done 15 laps and made it a bit more manageable. But what it means is that you'll go out with grippy tyres, lap 2 and 3 they'll already be dead, and then everyone will need to pit because the tyre wear is so high, there isn't no strategy there. So you'll pit on lap, you know, whatever it is, lap 3, and then that'll be it. You'll come out with a lighter car and go to the end. And that's going to be the same for everybody. If anybody stays out there, tyres will wear so much in that one lap that by the time they get back to the pits, they'll have a car that's 10 seconds slower. So it's going to be quite strange in terms of so 12th to 4th place here, and holding our position. Again, not easy to drive these cars actually. A lot of rear wheel power, turbo kicks in, and it's very challenging actually, just defending. which is fair enough. It's defending on the inside. There's no way past there if you defend on the inside. It's a blend on the throttle and the exit, and you just need to make sure that when you've got somebody behind you, you just got to keep holding your line and being sensible. If he takes a lunge, let him go, you know. But there he goes. He makes a mistake there and loses a position. And there was never a place to overtake there, so there was never a reason to try and be that close. You know, sometimes you can be that close, and like you say, you just make mistakes. And apparently it simulates dirty air, so I can't say that myself, because I can't really say that it's always something I notice always myself. I just notice the general tyre wear and fuel change, which is quite dramatic in there as well. Yes, Jeff, we're gonna try and improve on the next race. Just catching up on a few comments there. So Cookie struggles with the LMP cars, and they are a bit of a pain, you know. But yeah, this week's car, if any of you guys have driven it, do let me know what you think of this week's car. I'm finding it an absolute nightmare. Yeah, really, in Paris, 30 times tyre wear. I mean, that's just so pointless, isn't it? Once you reach, I think once you pass 15 times, once you pass that, it gets silly, because you can't even get round a lap without the tyres just going from reasonable to absolutely nothing halfway, and then you're limping back to the pits. It just seems to be, there's no strategy in there. You know, you have to pit. There's one lap in that race where you pit and everybody pits. There's no strategy option. So yeah, you can see it's quite competitive, this race. Everybody was very quick. You know, there wasn't really any major mistakes from everybody. The guy in front of me, Ash, ends up second. I end up running out of fuel and having to go for a pit stop, and that sort of compromises my race, unfortunately. But I learned a lot from it. I also changed tyres, and in actual fact I don't think you actually needed to change tyres, but the tyre change is pretty quick, isn't it? But you lose again another 2 seconds changing tyres, so it's oh, look at that back end moving around a bit there, just stomping on the power a bit. It's not an easy car to drive. And you can drive it with traction control. Oh look, chap's going off there. See, that's how easy it's done. You can drive it with traction control on or off. It depends how you want to drive. That's me going in the pits then. A couple of other guys going in the pits as well. So, see, rather interestingly, I stayed in the pits a bit longer. Down to 11, up to 8th. That's rather interesting. So they took on a little bit more fuel than me, maybe, which is really interesting, isn't it? Let's see, what button is it? No, that one. There we go. So he took on a lot more fuel and ended up quite a long way back. It's good to check this out, because you see the strategies that people are using, and obviously now we're on the new tyres, loads of fuel. We're able to really go for it again. But I definitely think I could have pitted a bit later than I did. And that may have given me a lighter car for a couple of laps. So if you do sort of a late splash and dash, that might be a quick way to get somewhere. My rating, Hawk Lord, I'm an A and an S, but I lost my S rank actually due to pretty unfair penalties in the last FIA season. Anything could go wrong, did go wrong, and we had a couple of touches there which sent me offline and lost a position there. Yeah, it was a good battle. He's using the old Benetton, I think. There is that the old Benetton, colours. I think it is. Might be the old Benetton colours from early 90s. So it's rather interesting how the pit stop's laid out. Actually, you know, I went into the pits with the guys directly behind me, and I took on a bit more fuel than I needed, and still came out ahead of them. So perhaps they needed a bit more fuel than I did in terms of the pit stop, which is quite interesting. So I think we'll definitely have a look at that, put a bit more time into it for sure. How are you guys finding Gran Turismo these days? What other racing games are you guys playing? Let me know what racing games you guys are playing. And also do subscribe on YouTube, by the way, guys. It supports what we do. We've been stuck on 66,000 subscribers for over a year, so it'd be good to get a couple more subscribers on the channel. Supports what we do and all that jazz. And we will try and improve in the next race. This was a cracking race, wasn't it? Good race, you know. You can see some of the other guys made mistakes and all that, so that gave us a bit of breathing room. But I really couldn't keep up with this chap in front. He was genuinely quicker than me at this point, and I was sort of content with where I was. Just, we could go quicker, but I think it was on too much on the limit, as I didn't know some of the gears for the corners. You'll hear me say that a lot, because I don't actually practice much before. Well, I don't practice at all before these streams, so I just have to come on here, practice live, and then go into the races. Right, get some more water and snack, and I'll be straight back, viewers. Don't go anywhere. I'll leave you with the rest of this racing action. I'll be back in a moment. We've got our Nations Cup race, so see you in a mo. Okay, back then, and yeah, loving this car. Yeah, I thought I'd go for a livery that was slightly different to everybody else's livery, because and that was it, wasn't it? Was that the end of the race? Yeah, 5th place in the end. So it's a solid race. That was a solid race, viewers. Bit of action there, and so now, with a bit of a break, we're going to go back and try our luck again. We're going to go back to traction control. I think the car is quicker with the traction control off, but entry period starting in a minute, so we're just going to free practice again for a moment. Actually, might wait. Actually, we'll just wait till the race entry, and then we can enter the race, and then we'll see how we get on. Hawk Lord. Apart from this, play Project Cars, Drive Club, Not Really Racing, Crew 2. Yeah, I need to, I suppose I've kind of missed out on the Crew 2, really. Could do with a bit more Crew 2ing. For sure. But there's no time. Alas, there is no time. Ah, right, yes. They're all very similar, There's loads of, liveries. You have to do something. Any news on the Isle of Man game? Hello, Lido. No news, actually. It's coming out, of course, on Switch, isn't it? So, nothing yet. So I hope to hear back from Big Ben soon, see if we get some hands-on, and obviously we want to learn more about WRC as well. So, and there's news leaking out on it gradually. So, obviously, latest news being the focus on wheels. Okay, let's just retweet the stream, and then hold on, viewers. Okay, that's fine. Keyboard. Right, we're going to have a look at free practice, and we're going to send out a tweet. So, streaming live. So, give us a retweet. Okay, boom. A nice bit of atmospheric sound there, isn't there? Right, that's done. So let's see now if we can see if we can improve. Right, we're going to try traction control on 2 now, going back to traction control 2. I think we can do it better with 1, but the reality is that we just don't have the time to learn. Oh, hold on, viewers. What's going on? We don't have the all-important gloves on. Here we go then. Practice makes perfect. Let's just stop there again. Get this set up. Right, okay, now we're ready. Lido, never even played Ride 3. Yeah, I mean, Ride 3 wasn't the game we all hoped it would be, could be, should be, really. It was all a bit disappointing. Some of the tracks I wasn't keen on as well, like the Lake Garda, I think it was track. The road was so wide, and it didn't have a real feel to it of the real location. And the handling as well felt nowhere near as good as the first game, really, for me. I really liked the handling in the first one, second one, but I played a lot more of the first one than the second one. It's alright. Got to keep our foot down. If you just lift, you lose time anyway, so try and let's get this behind me. Really irritates when it's here we are. Just get it out of the old sort of view there. I wish this cable was a little bit longer, you know. Of a pain, but don't normally have this issue. Right. I don't know why the cable's getting caught up here somewhere. Oh, I can't have this. I don't know why it's getting caught up. Hold on. Cable. It's just irritating. Right, there we are. Too bad. It's going to be in view. It's going to. I don't know why it's tight around my neck for some reason. Just try and figure out the cable management afterwards. It's because I move the mic sometimes and. Okay, so matchmaking will start in 10 minutes. Let's see if we can put some laps in and just find some consistency. Horrid car to drive. It's definitely slower with traction on 2 for sure. Trouble is, we just can't get the speed, the consistency out of traction control being off. I just do not like that corner. Yes. Better time, viewers. Where did that come from? Shows there's no consistency though. They're getting better. Getting better. I still don't know where the top players are finding their time though. But that 151.7 would put me in a top five qualifying. Yep, Jeff takes the credit. It's all thanks to Jeff. Well, thank you viewers for watching and for surviving the onslaught of frustration and the learning process. You know, it's good for you guys to see the learning process, because everyone thinks that all these guys are quick out the box, and they're not. They just do loads and loads and loads of laps. It's okay. We at least we've kind of, if we can do a 152 in quali, I'll be happy actually. I mean, we're after the top 10. You know, that's what we're after. I got it completely wrong there, didn't I? Oh, I did a really good final couple of corners. I did that snap down into third. That didn't work though, did it? What brake balance am I using? There we are, two to the rear. So it kind of helps with overall. So what that shows you is that my consistency is not there though in terms of lap times at all, but at least we know we've got a better lap in us. I think that's the main thing. I'll turn the Ghost off for a minute just because it's very close and in the way. Damn. So what happened there was I carried too much speed in, and you could see slow in, fast out is definitely the way forward through there. I think I need to go wider into that corner. I did wider before, so... So, still a long way off the top guys. As I say, there's definitely something going on, probably with a shifter or something. There's definitely more to it than just driving, for sure. But at least, as I always say, it's all about knowing, isn't it? Knowing what to do. And I've not got any consistency, as you can see there. So what happened there is, if you lose it in that second corner, you really need to get that right. Otherwise, you damage your whole lap basically. But that's that. It's cabled, quite irritating. Right. Okay, viewers, on to the race. Strange, is it? I think I normally wear a higher top, that's what it is. So, another nice easy lobby of racers. We've got Rex, Mongi and lovely Jubbly from the UK. So, and yeah, we've got some good racers in here. This is another difficult lobby. It's got to stay calm. I think that's going to be the key thing with this. Stay calm. This time we are going to consider pitting. I think we'd be better off getting that maximum grip out of the car. You really want to make sure you get that corner right, because then that really makes that an available corner then to drive. If you're out of shape in that first part, it really compromises the second part. So that chicane then, as a consistent race pace, is better to brake earlier rather than later for. That's going to be the that's going to be the way forward. Okay. Well, one person's left the room. Goodness. Didn't use any fuel. That was rather interesting. The fuel gauge did not go down then. I was seeing if I could burn off some fuel. But guy on my inside. Seems to be a load of bedlam, doesn't it? Trying to get around the track at the moment. Everybody's in a rush. See, everyone's trying to find a space now. Here we go then. Let's try out a bit of qualifying. Didn't get that right at all. Terrible. Terrible. Car just bogged down a bit there. Terrible. Oh, this is terrible lap. It's like a 156. Oh, phone's ringing. I'm not busy. No, well. Terrible, terrible. Okay, so really what we're going to do now is we're going to pit at the end of this lap, and just got put off by a couple of things on that lap. And if you've seen, it's if you go offline even just a little bit, you lose tons of time. So we're going to try again. If not, if we're starting anything lower than 15th, then it's really sort of a pointless race, frankly, because it's bearing in mind that the car is not necessarily easy to spin out in that sense, because everyone's going to use traction control at some point probably. Absolutely, Andrew. It's all gone badly for me. And so we've got to try and have a pit stop now, get some new tyres, and have one more shot at it. One more shot. Wow, that's a dirty place to stay, isn't it? Blocking the apex. Honestly, what's that all about? Should go at least go see-through there, you know, in terms of transparent, to have someone drive through, ghost them. Sitting on the apex is stopping anyone putting a lap in. We'll only get a chance to put in one lap then. Made a mistake on turn one, so we've lost 3/10 already. Okay, it's 4/10 off. Terrible final corner. The car didn't cut in right. Okay, 152.2. Something. Only 13th. Oh, goodness me. Last race, that would have put us like 8th or something. Anyway. Oh, it's a bit frustrating. Made a couple of mistakes on that lap as well. Lost 4/10 on the first corner, so we could have got into 151s, but we didn't. So we worked with what we got. And look, 14th place. Oh man. That's disappointing actually. I was really hoping that would put me about 11th, 10th, 11th. We're right. The problem is where we are in the race now is we're right in the pack, as it were. So there's going to be drama. We're going to be stuck in that drama. Right. Backfiring there. It's nice to hear though. So race time. Race time, and we're going to see now how we get on from 14th on the grid. Obviously one guy's quit already. Look how close it is in terms of times though. I mean, these guys are all quick drivers, aren't they? I mean, and you know, one mistake knocks off half a second. You know, it's like, you know, and that would have placed you, look at that, half a second, been up in the top 7. You know, it's crazy, crazy. Crazy, crazy. Mr. Cooper was quick though, wasn't he? 51 flat. That's a really good time. Right. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Here we go then. Warming the feet. Preparation for the race, viewers. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Right. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, it's enough of that. Right, so 14th on the grid. It's not where I wanted to be, given my time. I thought that would take me into around 10th. So we're 4 cars behind where we want to be. I think in the last race we made up a couple of places at the start and then lost them again, didn't we? But then we got them back because it's one thing to overtake people, but if you can see that people are a little bit rowdy, then well, you gotta be careful, haven't you? Otherwise they're just going to take you out. And we saw a double takeout in the last race. Double takeout! And we just don't want to be in that sandwich if we can help it. You've got to make a judgment call of whether you think you can come out well or, you know, badly. It's very difficult to say, isn't it? So, I don't really know. I've not put a livery on this car. I'm the boring car. Absolutely. It is the Spielberg film music. Right, we go then. So, let's just see how we get on. We tried to learn a bit today in a car I'm not comfortable with. On a track I'm learning still. I'm a long way behind others in that sense, but we've just got to try and I had to back out to avoid him there slightly and compromise myself. And then had to lose the position, which was a shame because we got off the line really well as we normally do. Good reactions there. Oh, this isn't looking good at all, is it? Oh well, it's just... We're all giving each other some space. This is cosy. That was close. I had to stamp on the brakes to avoid that incident there. Oh, didn't know there was someone there. Didn't know there was somebody there. And that's the end of my race. That's the end of my race. Not much I could do about that. Oh well. Well, one of those things, viewers. One of those things. I didn't know the guy was there. So... But then that wasn't really what caused the problem. The problem was somebody decided that they were just going to not yield and took me out. So that's that. It's the guy in the silver car, I think. Damn. Just trying to go around the outside there, but there's not much grip out there. Damn. We were doing quite well to that point. And I tried to give him space there, you know. Been a messy couple of laps, hasn't it? Wow. In lap 2, we lost 5 seconds on lap 2. That moved us all the way because of the crash there. Oh, I made a mistake there. Braking late, it's done me on the inside. Nah, we'll let him have it. I'm too far behind and I can't get alongside, so if I can get away from him, I know that I can improve. But it's very hard to overtake and then get away from people. I just find that you're always on the back foot, you know. So there's not enough difference in performance to really trying a different line there to see if I could cut back, but just end up losing time. There's just no way past. Oh, what a frustrating race. What a frustrating race. You know, there's only 3 laps left. There's no pit stops. There's no fuel usage. There's just no strategy to this other than just go round and round, and 9 laps just isn't enough to make the difference, you know. Can't get past this guy now. I can't get out of that final corner as quick as these other guys. Sometimes I struggle with it. So disappointing race, viewers. There's just no way to really make any difference. Really, you finished thereabouts where you qualify, or you hope that people make big mistakes. As I say, early on the race was going quite well, and then that's it really. Nothing you can do. Trying to brake later, see if I could make a difference, but settle for 15th place. Not going to make any difference now. Even if we could get to him, we can't get past. It's just not enough difference in performance without it being a crash fest. Too much speed. I don't care. I don't care. Do you know what? I've had enough. I've had enough. That's it for tonight, viewers. I've had enough. I'll come in last and I'm going to call it a day. That is the most frustrating race I've had in a while. I didn't like it, didn't like driving it, and I'd rather just come in last and call it a day. But I've had enough now. Sorry about the stream tonight, viewers. It wasn't a bit more exciting. I think if it was a car I was more interested in, and I just felt it. But I think doddering around 3 more laps in 15th place today, I'm just not in the mood for that. What's the point, really? I think you want to be going for it or just not at all. It's just one of those things. But that's it for now, viewers. Unfortunately, that means I won't get anywhere in the Nations Cup because I haven't had time and I'm not here on Saturday to race in the race, which is a real shame. So that's me out the Nations Cup, unfortunately. I think I'll probably do the extra races, but qualifying now, it's not actually possible to the next stage. So yeah, that's it for now. I'm going to get something to eat. Thanks for tuning in, and there'll be more from me